Guys, we have interesting on-chain data showing that the bulls have the market control and of course that we maybe will start very soon with the next bull market. Also, we have the consolidation phase on the chart analysis and we may break out soon. And in which direction we will see the breakout, this will be the content in the chart analysis. So if you like the videos, leave a like and also comment if you think if we are breaking out to the upside or to the downside. And also you can leave a subscription if you don't want to miss any content. Guys, we have two very interesting bullish on-chain data and also I think neutral on-chain data. So let's start with our first bullish on-chain data here, and this is the funding rate wave on the 1 hourly chart since February 11th, and here we can see that displayed in blue and green colors are the long waves and in red, pink or purple colors are the short waves. And as you can see, we have basically no red, purple or pink waves here. So just blue and green waves. And this implies that the funding rate is very bullish and also that the bulls are controlling the market. So maybe Bitcoin is pushing towards the 55 or 57,000 US dollars soon, as we saw a nice bounce of a support in the last day. And of course, guys, this is very important because our next on-chain data brings us to another very bullish sign for the Bitcoin price, and this is the SOPR ratio. The SOPR ratio says if the transactions who are going out of the market are in profit or not, and if the ratio is below 1, it is basically in the minus, and if it is above 1, the transactions are basically in profit. So we can see that we passed 2 with our SOPR. So basically the transactions are in profit. And here we can also see that when we are reaching the 2, we even had a small correction with the Bitcoin price here in 2013 and in 2016. But every time we passed the 2 with our SOPR, the value 2, we saw a bull market coming very soon. So basically this is also a very nice bull market indicator for an upcoming bull market or an upcoming high price move for the Bitcoin price. And now, guys, we want to go forward to our liquidation heat map levels, and the liquidation heat map yesterday was quite the same as this one, but we have to keep in mind that we can push with the Bitcoin price to levels like 53,000 US dollar, where we have liquidity like 2.5 or 3 billion US dollar to grab, and also we can push downwards to levels like 50,500 to 50,000 US dollar because there's also much liquidity. So I think it depends a little bit on the current day close and on the weekly close if we are dumping a little bit in the start of the next week or if we are pumping above levels of 53,000 US dollar and see a new local high. And now I would say let's go forward to the chart analysis.
Today it's Sunday, so we definitely have to have a look at the weekly chart again, because we'll see the weekly close in 7 hours, and this is, in my opinion, one of the most important time frames we have a look at for the Bitcoin price. So for now, the weekly candle seems like we already talked Friday about that we'll close a slightly red candle here with close to 1.5% in the minus, which is not significant on the weekly time frame. But if we have a look at the RSI, we can clearly see that we have a double top here on the RSI, which could mean that we'll maybe see a little correction coming in the next week, in my opinion, because this RSI level of 80 is pretty high at the moment. So in my opinion, it's not that unlikely that we'll maybe see a little further correction on the weekly time frame for the next week. But for that, we definitely have to look on the smaller time frames also, because on the daily time frame we can clearly see some important things. Because we already talked about, we left our consolidation box on the daily time frame, which was brought up on the beginning of last week. We always got the big wicks to the downside. On the smaller time frames we have consolidated in the just Borodna box, but on the daily time frame we always got brought up again. Then on Thursday and Friday we saw that we dumped below this daily consolidation box. On Saturday we tested it on again, and it seems like if this daily close will close like this today on Sunday, it seems like that we again got rejected from this consolidation box we previously formed in the beginning of this week. So in my opinion, it seems like we could see some further downside on the daily time frame. Maybe not today because it's still a weekend and normally we won't see big movements on the weekend, but in my opinion it's pretty pretty possible that we maybe see a bigger correction coming next week, and we'll maybe see another try of the bears to break out of this consolidation box to the downside, which could lead to this little bit bigger correction we just talked about on the weekly time frame. So we just have a look on the 4-hourly time frame, because here we can clearly see what we just expected on the daily time frame, that we tried to get in this daily consolidation box, which is just the upper thing right here. I just showed you on the bigger time frames, and we now got rejected. We got that 4-hourly close below our box in the previous 4-hourly candle, and now the question is if this 4-hourly candle will close like this. In my opinion, it looks like it at the moment, because we have some other significant chart pattern, which in my opinion looks like that we'll see this little correction coming to the downside and giving the bears the third try in the last few days to break this consolidation box to the downside. Because if we have a look on the bigger picture, we can clearly see, we already talked about I think a week ago, that we have this rising wedge right here, which broke out to the downside, we retested it, and after we retested it, we formed this little downtrend right here. So you guys clearly can see if this downtrend will not be broken to the upside, which not seems like this in the moment, which seems like we get rejected from the top line again, then there will be this third chance to break to the downside here out of this consolidation box. And if we just manage to break out to the downside and maybe get a bounce on the lower trend line, we still would be broken out of our horizontal support area. So in my opinion, the most likely scenario is that we'll close this 4-hourly candle and the next one inside this consolidation box, which will also be the daily close on the Sunday, and then on Monday we could maybe see the third try of the bears to break out of this consolidation box. We'll maybe see a little move here on the lower trend line of this uptrend and maybe even get a retest of the consolidation box. But if we don't manage to get back inside of it, I could really imagine that we'll probably see a little bit bigger correction, also because we have still this active price target of this rising wedge right here, which could lead us to much lower price levels for Bitcoin in the coming week. So in my opinion, if we won't get any signs that we'll maybe buy up this dip again, it looks like that we probably see a little bit further correction on the Sunday, and I will maybe even open a short trade if this candle in the next one is not bouncing to the upside immediately. But I think that's it for now. Please feel free to share your opinion if you guys think we will leave this consolidation box to the downside, or you guys maybe think we will get support on the lower side and then maybe see the bounce to the upside and leave this consolidation box in the next week to the upside. Feel free to comment down below, and if you're enjoying this content, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel, and I would say we'll see us in tomorrow's update again.